Chapter 914 Vice Captain Guo. Quick, finish them. Si Ming Li's confidant sneered. Hee hee, don't worry. They're just a couple of nobodies, Guo Di mocked. Swish. Guo Di charged forward towards the lean man in a flash with his sword held horizontally, like he wanted to slice the lean man in half. However, just as Guo Di's sword touched his target, the lean man moved to the left and dodged Guo Di's attack within a split second. Son of a bitch, you're pretty lucky, huh? Guo Di sneered. He exerted all the strength he had, and the sword sliced the air, breaking the silence. The lean man was expressionless, and there was a tinge of boredom in his eyes. Right at that moment, the lean man finally raised one of his hands that was behind his back. Clang! The sound of gold chains interlocking echoed throughout the place. At this moment, everyone present stood rooted to the ground, especially the long-haired man and bearded man. Their eyes constricted, and they both had a look of disbelief. Even Yi Wanwan couldn't help exhibiting a subtle change in her expression. Everyone witnessed how that lean man actually only used 2 fingers to block the sword Guo Di was trying to slice him with. Guo Di was in disbelief as he looked at the lean man, who looked completely indifferent. Guo Di looked like he had just seen a ghost. This lean man actually used his fingers to block the sword he had used all his strength to slash him with? According to the norm, shouldn't the lean man's fingers have been instantly sliced off by his sword? Impossible! Guo Di bellowed and went all out, trying to retract his sword from the lean man's fingers. However, the lean man's fingers were like a huge mountain. He kept holding onto the sword. Even when Guo Di used all his strength, the sword remained wedged between his fingers without budging at all. Swish! In the next second, nobody saw what the lean man did exactly, but he seemed to have turned his wrist and the sword was seized by him. Before Guo Di could return to his senses, the lean man already had the sword in his hands and simply ran it across both of Guo Di's arms. After that, the lean man didn't even turn his head as he strode over to the little boy's side. Accompanied by a blood-curdling screech, both of Guo Di's arms were sliced off just like that. This bloody scene left everyone at the scene dumbfounded. Guo Di rolled on the floor in pain. This is impossible. Impossible. Even with his skills, both his arms were simply chopped off by this person within 3 moves. Guo Di rolled on the ground and looked at the cold-blooded lean man. Suddenly, a sense of fear he had never felt before crept up. You, who exactly are you? Si Mingli and Si Qian on the video call also had the same question as Guo Di. Just what is going on here? Si Mingli was stunned. Even someone like Guo Di was tortured like that by this person. What kind of terrifying power did the little boy's backer have? It might be possible that he was even more powerful than Mr. Eric. This thought made him extremely anxious. Si Qian forced himself to maintain his composure. That's impossible. There are only 2 families with the surname Nye in Imperial City. One of them is in the Eastern City, and they are in the real estate business, while the other is. Tang Long glanced at the 2 of them plainly. He revealed a look of pity like he was looking at 2 ignorant ants and said softly, "This child's Nye family is the one and only Nye clan on a standalone island in Northern Europe." Chapter 915. 915 The moment Tang Long said that, Guo Di, who was lying in a pool of blood and wailing in pain, was completely stunned to the point where he almost forgot his pain. He looked at the little boy's face like he had seen something extremely horrifying. Nye family, the Nye clan on the standalone island. Then this child is... Tang Long chuckled. Vice Captain Guo, what do you think? Guo Di was in a daze. He mumbled in an almost imperceptible voice, the little crown prince of the Nye family. It wasn't only Guo Di. Even those mercenaries standing by the side were so scared that their faces turned pale. There was dead silence in the air. At that moment, Guo Di, who was still rolling on the floor a moment ago, suddenly stood up swiftly and charged at the lean man. To be precise, he charged towards the sword in his hands. In the next second, Guo Di placed his neck against the lean man's sword and moved along the length of the sword. He fell to the floor, and there was no breath in him anymore. Seeing that Guo Di was so terrified that he killed himself with the sword, The other mercenaries didn't even dare to breathe. Everyone was glad they listened to their captain's orders and didn't attack. Si Mingli and Si Yiqian looked at the screen, then they looked at each other in disbelief and didn't say a word. Northern Europe, standalone island, Nye clan. These 6 words were like an atomic bomb that caused both of them to be scared out of their wits. Initially, they didn't even know what standalone island meant, much less the Nye clan. They only found out about the standalone island through Mr. Eric. According to Mr. Eric, a long time ago, during the Middle Ages, there was a highly accomplished martial artist in China who arrived at a faraway island in Northern Europe. The martial artist settled down on that small island and brought over the mysterious ancient Chinese martial arts culture, which attracted many martial arts experts from all over the world. After more than 100 years of development and changes, the faraway little island gradually became prosperous and strong. It came under the control of a few formidable family clans. However, following the invention of firearms, weapons, and ammunition, the age of cold weapons slowly withdrew from the limelight and the martial arts culture declined. In order to protect themselves, the standalone island went under the radar and concealed their strength as they gradually vanished from the public eye. But even though their numbers had greatly reduced, the standalone island was still extremely strong, and they controlled the economies of various parts of the world, such as the Mercenary Guild, Martial Arts Union, and other important powers. Whether it was the world's top mercenary or someone from the so-called capable and influential aristocratic families, they might be worth nothing at all when dropped on that standalone island. Any hidden family or ancient aristocratic family on the standalone island was extremely powerful compared to anyone from the outside world. The standalone island was currently controlled by 4 family clans, namely the Nye, Ji, Ling, and Shun family. The Nye family was the leader of the 4 great family clans. It was evident how scary the Nye clan was, and right now, they had actually kidnapped the little crown prince of that Nye family. The person who tried to kidnap the little crown prince before had his entire family clan exterminated in the end. Looking at Si Mingli and Si Yiqian's pale faces, Tang Long revealed a look of sympathy and said, "Considering that this was the first time we worked together, I'll give the 2 of you a word of advice. Leave China as soon as possible. TSK, an ignorant person is truly fearless." Those 2 people had been working behind the scenes from the beginning and hadn't revealed their faces at all, but if the Nye clan wanted to look for them, it would be a piece of cake. Chapter 9:16. Si Mingli and Si Yiqian didn't hesitate at all and immediately ended the video call. "Run. We have to run quickly. Otherwise, we'll be dead meat." The 2 of them just couldn't figure out how things ended up this way. They were merely trying to capture Yuanwan, but in the end, they actually captured the little crown prince of the standalone island Nye clan as well. That's the Nye clan's little crown prince. How did we even manage to capture him? They had countless questions swarming around their heads, but they didn't have the time or energy to think anymore and couldn't care less about Yuanwan. They had to get out of China and seek shelter with Mr. Eric. Si Mingli's hired thugs scattered instantly, and Tang Long personally went down to the dungeon. Tang Long walked over to the little boy. He placed both arms across his chest and bowed. "Young Master Nye, sorry for scaring you during your travels. I hope you forgive my men for their ignorance. The Noise of Dragons mercenary group can't thank you enough." With the young Master Nye's status, how could he be so easily captured by them? Then there was only one possibility. He had a motive behind allowing them to capture him. If that was the case, there might still be a chance that these people could be spared. He should be thankful that the Noise of Dragons mercenary group had strict training and wouldn't make things difficult for women and children, and these mercenaries hadn't harmed the little crown prince. Otherwise, he really wouldn't dare to imagine what the consequences might have been. The little boy turned to Yuanwan, who was in the cell, and his face was covered in frost. His mother had seen too much blood today. Since they hadn't harmed his mother, "You guys may leave." Upon hearing that, Tang Long heaved a sigh of relief and hurriedly signaled to his teammates with his eyes. The few of them, who were scared stiff, quickly retreated with Tang Long. Before they left, Tang Long looked in Yuanwan's direction and revealed a thoughtful expression. The young master of the Nye family suddenly came to China and even appeared close to this woman's house out of the blue. It seems like this is something worth pondering over. After everyone left, there was only Yi Wanwan, Tang Bin, and Song Chung left in the dungeon. Yi Wanwan was deep in thought about what those people said regarding the standalone island of the Nye family. The little boy immediately ordered, "Go over." It only took a glance from the little master, and the man immediately understood what he wanted. He strode over to Tang Bin and Song Chung. Tang Bin and Song Chung didn't know the standalone island existed, so they obviously didn't know about the Nye clan at all. They were only concerned about which power would allow such a scary expert to be a child's bodyguard. Just now, only one of the bodyguards took action and the other didn't even have to do anything at all. Damn, this is insane. Even the captain of the Noise of Dragons mercenary group was so respectful towards him. Exactly. Who exactly is this little boy? Huh? The two of them were exclaiming in shock when they suddenly saw one of the bodyguards walking over to them. Tang Bin and Song Chung were scared out of their wits. Don't, big bro. We're not the bad guys. Right. We were captured as well. Seeing the horrifying, beast-like man coming towards them, the two of them were terrified. Clang, their locks were cut with a knife. The lean man simply cut the ropes and chains around their forelimbs. Tang Bin and Song Chung froze. After that, they heaved a sigh of relief. So he was helping us. This really scared us to death. The two of them were about to thank that person when he turned around and walked towards Yi Wanwan. Chapter 917. 917. After moving his knife around swiftly and breaking Yi Wanwan free, those two beastly bodyguards suddenly went down on one knee and were extremely respectful. Second Missy, we were late and caused you to be frightened. Yi Wanwan, Tang Bin, Song Chung. Second Missy? Tang Bin and Song Chung looked at those two scary human weapons, down on their knees in front of Yi Wanwan, and were completely stunned. Damn, what? These two beasts were actually Master's men? Shit. Then how terrifying is Master's true strength? Huh? Just a while ago, they thought their backer had collapsed, but right now, a strong backer was rising quickly from the ground. This was too exciting. Yi Wanwan looked at the two men on their knees before her, then she glanced at Tang Bin and Song Chung, whose eyeballs were nearly coming out of their sockets. She was completely stupefied. What the hell? Second Missy? Are they referring to me? At this moment, after Tang Bin and Song Chung returned to their senses, they went over excitedly and started speaking one after another. Tang Bin was starry-eyed and filled with adoration. Master, we thought you were really captured. You were already so well prepared, huh? Yi Wanwan, no. The truth is that I was really captured, Before Yi Wanwan could finish, Song Chung interrupted. I knew it. Master, you're actually so amazing, We had a really shallow understanding of you. The two of us brothers will pledge our lives to follow you, Master. Yi Wanwan, I think these two people actually got the wrong person. Tang Bin chimed in. He was so moved that he nearly cried. Master, you're a fairy from the highest of the heavens. It's our blessing that you accepted us to be under your leadership. Song Chung, Master, you didn't make a move at all this time to teach us a lesson, right? We'll work harder in future. Master, please don't give up on us. Yi Wanwan, could the two of you calm down a little and listen to what I have to say? Also, could you guys stop imagining things? Yi Wanwan looked at the two bodyguards and was confused. She was sure she didn't know them. What's going on with these people? They even called me Second Missy. She was indeed the second in the Yi family. Yi Mu Fan was the first. But it wasn't normal for these two people to address her as Second Missy in such a formal way, right? Tang Bin wasn't sure if he was imagining things or not. But while they were speaking to Master, he felt the temperature in the air decreasing slightly. Tang Bin instinctively turned to the little boy next to him. Oh right, Master. What's your relationship with this little boy? At this moment, Yi Wanwan's head was a mess. She was vexed, so she simply replied, You're asking me? Who should I ask, then? How am I supposed to know? I really have no idea who he is, Yi Wanwan had a headache as she pinched her brows. When she said that, the little boy with his perfect little porcelain face suddenly stepped forward and made his way towards her. Yi Wanwan choked a little and probed, little friend, hello? May I ask who you are? The little boy lifted his little head and looked at her with his clear eyes. He spoke in a child's voice and said, hello, my surname is Nye and my name is Tang Xiao. I am 5 this year, and from a biological point of view. Nye Tang Xiao paused before he continued, you and I have a mother and son relationship, after which, the little fella extended his little arm. Mommy, nice to meet you. Please take care of me. Yi Wanwan, Mini Theater. Yi Wanwan, today must be April Fool's Day. How could I possibly have a son? Author Jiong, that's right, it's April Fool's Day today, but the sun is real. Chapter 9:18 Imo Mother? Yi Wanwan felt as if 9 lightning strikes were coming at her at once. At the same time, all the dots on her head started to connect. This child said his surname was Nye, and Yi Wanwan thought he looked very familiar when she first saw him. Now, he suddenly told her that he was her son. And I definitely don't have a son. So, this child might be nameless Nye's nephew. Everything was a mess lately, and although she had her suspicions, she hadn't thought about it too much. She only saw that child over a video call and didn't really see his face clearly. Also, this child's clothes were very different from the child in the video call that day. He was dressed in all black before. So, she only felt he was vaguely familiar and really didn't recognize him at all. The most important thing was why hadn't that nameless Nye guy mentioned this beforehand, so she could prepare herself? In the end, she didn't suspect that this child was nameless Nye's nephew at all. At the moment, Yi Wanwan was staring blankly at the little fellow in front of her and was about to lose her mind. That idiot nameless Nye. How could he not have informed me at all? I wasn't prepared for this. Who's going to tell me anything? What am I going to do now? This is unbelievable. I should simply just quit and not do anything. The little boy still had his little arm extended at this point, and he was looking at her with his little head. Seeing the little fella's empty little hand, Yi Wanwan came to her senses and her heart softened. She extended her arm and shook the little guy's tiny hands gently. Hello. The little guy stared at his tiny hand held by Yi Wanwan and pursed his lips. He looked even cuter than before. The 2 bodyguards behind him looked at each other at the same time. Young master actually allowed someone to touch him. Tang Bin and Song Chong had just calmed themselves down from the excitement and had to go through another round of excitement. They were completely dumbfounded now. Whoa, this little boy is actually the master's son. Master actually has a son this age already? And it seems like Master didn't even recognize her own son? She's truly worthy of being the master. She's awesome. I wonder how many peach blossoms debt she has, After saying just hello, Yi Wanwan was stuck and she racked her brain for something to say for a long time but couldn't come up with anything. Yi Wanwan, Nye Tang Xiao, right? Can I call you Tang Tang? The little fella nodded. Okay. Yi Wanwan had a headache as she took a deep breath. She hadn't colluded and planned with nameless Nye beforehand, so she could only improvise right now. So, Yi Wanwan said, so you're Tang Tang, really sorry about that. Mommy didn't recognize you just now. I talked to your uncle before and wanted to visit you, but I've been too busy lately so my visit was delayed. Little boy, that's okay. Mommy is busy. I can visit Mommy myself. Yi Wanwan's heart inexplicably melted after she heard that. What an obedient child. Why did nameless Nye keep talking badly about him and called him a little devil? Yi Wanwan immediately gritted her teeth when she thought of nameless Nye. Where's your uncle then? Didn't he come along with you? That bastard nameless Nye. Where did he go? I can't handle this on my own. The little fella replied. Uncle dropped me off and left. Yi Wanwan nodded. Oh, I see. Chapter 919. 919 Alas. Yi Wanwan brought the little fella back to the little house of Rose and was completely stupefied throughout the journey. Yi Wanwan only had one thought in her mind the entire time. How am I going to take care of this child? She had no experience at all. When they arrived at the entrance, Yi Wanwan's eyes lit up instantly as she looked at the two bodyguards. All right, these two people were there, and they had obviously been by Nie Tangzhao's side all along. They were probably familiar with his diet, habits, and lifestyle. Then, the both of you. Before Yi Wanwan could speak, Nie Tangzhao turned to the two bodyguards and said in a childlike voice, "The two of you may leave. Mommy will take care of me." They didn't hesitate at all when they heard his orders. Yes, the two of them then left in a flash and completely disappeared. Yi Wanwan extended her arm. Hey, don't go. They actually left just like that. Are you for real? How could you guys just leave such a young child alone here with me? I have no idea how to take care of a child. Yi Wanwan stared at the little milk bun before her and nearly broke down in tears. Finally, Yi Wanwan felt resigned to her fate. Yi Wanwan turned to the two men behind her. Tang Bin, Song Chong, go look for Qiao Qiao and the others. Since Tang Long already promised he wouldn't harm them, they should be fine. Yes. The two of them immediately went to look for the others, and in the end, they found the three people in the attic. The three people were fine. They were just tied up and left in the attic. After they found them, Tang Bin and Song Chong hurriedly cut them loose. How did you guys come back? What about Master? Is she in danger? How could Master be in any danger? Even if anyone was in danger, it would be the other party. The three of them obviously thought their master's hidden power got them out of there and saved them. Indeed, but we really underperformed this time and didn't do our best to protect our master. We must apologize and beg for forgiveness from Master. Old Jiang said. The others agreed as well. So, the few of them swiftly went downstairs. Just as they were about to beg for forgiveness, they saw from afar that their master actually had a little child by her side. Master merely went out for a while. How did she bring a child back? The fatty was stunned. Old Jiang was suspicious too. Tang Bin, Song Chong, what's going on? How did you guys come back? Kawaii. So adorable. Whose baby is that? Where did he come from? Jiao Jiao's attention was glued to the little boy. Tang Bin and Song Chong looked at one another and said, Ours. This little boy is Master's son. What? Master's son? Jiao Jiao was so shocked that she covered her mouth. Damn! The fatty gasped loudly. How's that possible? What's with the surprise? We heard it ourselves. The fatty stared at the little boy. He looked slightly amazed and said, not to mention that. He really looks a little like Master. This little face of his looks exactly like our master, right? Tang Bin agreed. Yes, even you guys think so. Changji and I thought they looked alike too. Song Chong rubbed his chin and said, Young Master does look like Master, but his temperament and character are quite different, right? Weird. The fatty rolled his eyes. You're making such a big deal out of it. What's so weird about it? His character might not be like Master's, so he must be like his daddy. Tang Bin and Song Chong nodded. That makes sense. Chapter 920. 920 Yuan was too occupied with the little boy that she didn't have the time to worry about those 5 people and merely overheard them saying that this child looked like her. Yuan only noticed it now. It was quite imperceptible to her at first, but now that they mentioned it, he did look a little like her. Huh? However, Nameless Nia already told her that she looked similar to his sister, so it made sense for this child to look a little like her. Yuan gave the 5 of them looks of warning and ordered them to get to work. The 5 of them, who were gossiping in full swing, then scattered like birds. Master definitely didn't have the time to worry about them. In just a moment, the living room was left with only Yuan and Nie Tangzhao alone. Yuan dragged a huge pile of snacks out and even prepared a glass of orange juice for the little fella. Then she sat on the sofa in the living room with him. Nie Tangzhao sat upright in preparation. Kagwan, please wait a moment. After the updates, you need to refresh the page to get the latest updates. Chapter 921, 921 Late at night. Si Mingli's family fled the country. Just Si Han's side alone was enough to beat them black and blue, not to mention the Nye clan. Thankfully, they were careful enough and had always been making moves behind the scenes without showing their faces at all. Otherwise, they would have nowhere to hide. Damn it, that woman's lucky. Si Mingli was upset. Father, what's most important is retaining our power. As long as we have Mr. Eric, we can make a comeback sooner or later. Si Yiqian persuaded. Let's go. Si Mingli gritted his teeth and finally got onto the helicopter reluctantly. Seeing Imperial City beneath them getting farther and farther away, he had a darkness in his eyes. Si Han and that little bitch. I'll be back again. Country M. There was complete silence in the spacious presidential suite. Si Han sat on the sofa with a gloominess between his brows. A youth in a black suit stood in front of the man with a solemn look and reported, "Madam is back in the little garden house." Before our men arrived, she had already left. There was another group of power who appeared and helped her, but we haven't gotten information about where this power came from yet. We'll make sure to find out soon. Although the 5 people in the little house of Rose were experts, as a safety precaution, Si Han had still sent his man over secretly. His men didn't show up earlier because Si Han wanted to find out who the mastermind was. Otherwise, it would be like cutting the grass without pulling the weeds out. There would be no end of trouble in the future. However, he didn't expect that before his men could make a move, another power appeared out of nowhere. Si Han wrapped his fingers against the icy cold glass coffee table, an indication of his uneasiness. Although he had already made sure she was very safe, he still had a bad feeling in his heart. After Yuan brought the little fella back, she encountered another troublesome issue. Where's Tang Tang going to stay? Si Han would return very soon, and if Tang Tang lived with her, it would definitely be inconvenient. What if Si Han saw him? However, she couldn't just let such a young child live somewhere else by himself. After all, he came all the way there to see his mother. Tang Tang, take a seat first. Mommy will go settle some stuff. I'll be back real soon, Yuan said gently. Nye Tang Xiao. Okay. Yuan took her phone out and walked out to the courtyard. Behind her, Nye Tang Xiao looked at the back figure of the girl rushing out and his eyes dropped. After Yuan was in the courtyard, she immediately tapped open a WeChat group with the 5 people and typed furiously, "Famous Yi, name. Les. Nye. Come out right now." There was silence in the group chat. Not a single person replied. Yuan didn't have any other choice. She could only grit her teeth and send a red pocket. In the end, nobody accepted the red packet at all this time. Yuan scoffed and sent a $100 red packet. Still, not a single person accepted it. Strictly speaking, nobody dared to accept it. At this moment, under a certain bridge in Imperial City, there were 5 people squatting there secretly. After viewing the messages in the WeChat group, Nameless Nye's hands shivered. He looked at his men and said, "All of you return to Famous Yi." Spray of Flowers, who almost tapped open the red pocket, restrained his hands which were almost going out of control, and he shook his head with terror. "What? I'm not going. Stinking devotee. You go. Quick. Captain is calling you. Your captain's most trusted confidant. Eh?" Chapter 922. 922 The devotee glared at him. "I'm not going. Why should I? Why should I be the one who returns? Bloody ladyboy, why don't you go back? Aren't you loyal and devoted towards Captain? Huh? How could you watch him die and not try to save him at all?" Spray of Flowers choked and said, "What is it? Don't they have a saying in China? Husband and wife are like birds in one grove, but they each fly away at the end of their lives." The devotee gave off a look of disdain. "Captain, do you see his true colors now?" Nameless Nye glared at the 2 of them, then turned to the brick-moving foreigner. "Little sweetie, go back to Famous Yi." The brick-moving foreigner said sternly. "Captain, I'd like to help you, but my Mandarin isn't great." "Captain, would you like to eat shit? I'll go buy it for you." Little sweetie disappeared without a trace after that. Right after that, there was a click, and the iceberg man had locked himself into the coffin. Nameless Nya nearly spewed out blood from anger. Fuck your father. 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. All of you are useless. The only reliable Feng Xian, he was still in long-term offline mode. Why is it so hard to be a captain? Nameless Nye's head was aching when the WeChat notifications started ringing once again. Famous Yi, Nameless Nye, what's wrong with you? I'm an unwed lady, yet I'm helping you pretend to be a little child's mother out of my own goodwill. Could you at least help me coordinate the matter properly, huh? Famous Yi, in the end, your nephew showed up and you didn't even tell me at all. You even left him alone here and ran away, leaving me to stare blankly at a son who suddenly popped out. I wasn't prepared at all. Famous Yi, what if my boyfriend sees this and thinks I had this boy with a wild man outside, huh? Famous Yi, the main point isn't this. The main point is that I'm a fraud and this dear uncle of his actually went missing. You've got to be kidding me. Yi Wanwan was obviously exploding in fury and typing away crazily. Nameless Nye and the others were trembling. None of them dared to reply. Famous Yi, I'll count to 3, and if you're not going to come out, you will have the bare responsibility for the consequences. Famous Yi, 3. Famous Yi, 2. Famous Yi, 1. Spray of flowers and the devotee were squatting in the corner, trying their best to reduce their presence. Really envious of that dead man. The coffin is so useful. Nameless Nye took a deep breath. He didn't have any other choice, and as the captain, as the uncle of the little devil, he had to be the one who solved this issue. Yi Wanwan stared at her phone screen. Once she was done with the countdown, a message appeared in the WeChat group. Your friend Nameless Nye has left the WeChat group, Yi Wanwan. Spray of flowers and the devotee who were curled up in the corner. Shit. Captain, that's too brazen, isn't it? You're just going to throw us into the wolves' den like that? Your friend Spray of Flowers has left the WeChat group. Your friend Devotee has left the WeChat group. Your friend Little Sweetie Eyes and Joro has left the WeChat group. 3 notifications appeared one after another, and finally, the group was left with only a certain terminal stage lazy cancer sufferer who couldn't even be bothered to run for his life. Bastard. You totally forced me to do this. You're heartless. So don't blame me for being unkind. Yi Wanwan gritted her teeth. She was fuming as she strode into the living room. I'm done being his mother. Yi Wanwan went back into the living room in a huff and marched towards Nye Tang Xiao. Tang Tang, there's something I need to tell you. Yi Wanwan had been gone for a very long time. The little fella had remained on the sofa waiting for her, and when he heard her coming back inside, he turned his head immediately and extended his tiny arm to rub his tired eyes. He replied in a childlike tone, Mommy? The words Yi Wanwan wanted to say were all stuck in her throat instantly. Chapter 9:23 Yi Wanwan looked at the little boy on the sofa, who looked like a small dumpling as he sleepily rubbed his eyes and called her mommy. All her anger dissipated instantly. She was moed to the point where her heart was a mess. Nye Tangxia asked, Is it important? The words lingering on Yi Wanwan's lips immediately changed. Mommy wanted to say, a growing child must never go to bed late. This is really important. Mommy will take you upstairs to sleep. Nye Tang Xiao, and thus Yi Wanwan, who wanted to chase him away, inexplicably took the little boy upstairs to sleep. Since she wasn't prepared for a guest at all, she could only set Nye Tang Xiao down in the guest room. After all, they had just met, so she was afraid that if she suddenly got too close, the child might not be used to it. It would be better to give him some time to adjust. Why was she already thinking about allowing him to adjust? Hadn't she just decided to throw in the towel and quit already? Yi Wanwan had just covered the little guy in a blanket when a notification popped up on her phone. It seemed like someone had sent her a WeChat message. Yi Wanwan tapped on her phone, and she saw that in the group chat containing only her and Iceberg Man, there were a few messages. Your friend Deadman has received your red packet. Your friend Deadman has received your red packet. Your friend Deadman has left the group. Yi Wanwan, fuck. How could there be such a shameless person on Earth? He actually collected all the red packets before leaving the group. She sent 2 red packets with 2 different amounts, and that guy actually accepted both without leaving a single cent. Yi Wanwan gripped her phone so tightly that it squeaked. Her rage had instantly reached 100. Bloody hell. If I take this lying down, my last name isn't Yi. In the next second, Yi Wanwan's eyes landed on the little fella lying in bed with a blanket over him and his tiny hand on the bed frame. Immediately, the sinister look on her face turned into a fine drizzle. She was afraid she would scare the little fella. Cough cough tang tang, go to bed. Good night. Good night, Mommy. Yi Wanwan tucked him and then turned off the lights. Just as she was about to leave, the little fella behind her suddenly called out to her. Mommy. Yi Wanwan stopped in her tracks. Tang tang, what's the matter? In the dark, she could hear the little fella's young and immature yet slightly cold and distant voice. Will Mommy abandon me again? Upon hearing this, Yi Wanwan's heart thumped hard and she felt uncontrollably guilty. Could it be that he discovered something? Yi Wanwan, no, I won't. If I was your mother, I would never abandon you again for sure. Nie Tang Zhao's appearance had really messed up many of Yi Wanwan's plans. Since a certain someone was so unreliable, she had to go online and research how to take care of a child. Then she instructed Jiao Jiao and Fatty to prepare some necessities. While she was researching, Yi Wanwan thought of something and researched a little on the Nie clan due to all the unexpected recent events. She also searched Nameless Nie's name as well as Nie Tang Zhao's. As expected, the information she gathered was all useless. She already guessed that Nameless Nie and the others didn't have a simple background, and after being rescued by Nie Tang Zhao's 2 bodyguards, it further confirmed her suspicions. She only met these people by chance, so she didn't think much of it at first and didn't want to get too close to them. Even regarding this little boy, after Nameless Nie found his biological mother, they would have no relations with one another anymore. For some inexplicable reason, after she met Tang Tang, she started to feel strangely bothered by it. Chapter 924. Yi Wanwan was so busy that she only managed to get to bed at midnight. She was woken up the next morning by a call from Yimu Fan. Hello? Go. Yi Wanwan answered the call in a daze. Yimu Fan hurriedly said, I've got good news and bad news. Which would you like to hear first? Yi Wanwan. Whichever, Yimu Fan. The good news is that I talked to Su Lin according to what you taught me. We won't change his plot and will retain the entire original script from beginning till end. Also, we'll let him come to our company and meet with Gong Su and Luo Chun personally. Gong Su and Luo Chun put in a lot of effort in their preparations lately and performed well. Su Lin has agreed to let us shoot his work. That's good. Yi Wanwan heaved a sigh of relief. Because she knew this script was Su Lin's blood, sweat, and tears, and he had very high expectations for it, she held a script meeting with Luo Chun and Gong Su beforehand to study the script. After they understood the script inside out, they had a discussion with Su Lin, which was why Su Lin agreed to work with them. Su Lin hadn't performed well in this industry largely due to his character. He was overly idealistic and a perfectionist. To him, art was everything. While he worked at Emperor Sky, not only was he unable to take full ownership of his scripts, but they always made edits and nothing remained the same. Retaining ownership of his scripts wasn't the biggest deal to him. The latter was the last straw which made him leave Emperor Sky. He took his final work and wanted to shoot a film that was truly his. Unfortunately, in Yi Wanwan's previous life, before he could accomplish his dream, Emperor Sky completely destroyed it. Not only was his career destroyed, but even the company that worked with him also suffered great financial losses. In the end, Emperor Sky simply got rid of the portion about sacrificing for the country that was unpopular with the public from Su Lin's work, A Life and Death Struggle, and changed it into a romance series, The Age of Love. Although the show was a great hit in the end, not only was Su Lin's own work seized, but the soul of his work had even been taken away. Su Lin was in so much pain that he didn't want to live anymore. What's the bad news then? Yi Wanwan asked. Yimu Fan's tone was heavy. The bad news is that not long after we signed a contract with Su Lin, That bastard from Emperor Sky suddenly went to see Su Lin and said Su Lin had stolen the work of his teacher, Tan. He wants to pursue the matter further and make him legally liable. I know Emperor Sky's dirty tricks too well. That guy, Tanjin wasn't able to come up with anything long ago. His only value was that he managed to obtain a title as the gold medal scriptwriter during his early years. Su Lin might be known as his apprentice, but in reality, he was his ghostwriter. Tanjin hasn't squeezed enough benefits out of Su Lin, so he wouldn't let him go just like that. Su Lin wanted to leave to make it on his own, but obviously, Tanjin wouldn't let him off, and Emperor Sky also really wanted to keep the title of a gold medal screenwriter. Even though they knew whose script it really was, they pretended not to know and made false accusations that Su Lin had stolen Tanjin work. All right, I got it. Yi Wanwan still sounded calm. Great. Everything is going as planned. Huh, you're still so calm? Do you know that since we signed the contract with Su Lin, our company has also been dragged into it? Furthermore, Yi Shaoan and Yi knew I started this company with a friend. There's a great chance they wouldn't let go of this opportunity to mess with me. Emperor Sky would definitely sue our company too. Yimu Fan panicked. Chapter 9:25. A hint of craftiness flashed across Yi Wanwan's eyes. Sue us then. I was worried he wouldn't. In order to prepare for this day, Yi Wanwan had relied on her memory to write the entire script and registered it in advance. She also made Gong Su and Luo Chun spend so much time to study the script, and she specifically trained Gong Su to be presentable in front of people. She exerted so much time and effort and dug such a huge pit. If they weren't going to jump into it, wouldn't it all have been a waste? Huh. You actually hoped Emperor Sky would sue us? What do you mean, huh? Yimu Fan was utterly confused. He was afraid Yi Wanwan didn't understand the seriousness of the situation and hurriedly explained it to her. That sly old fox, Tanjin. He already registered the script under his name before Su Lin and claimed ownership of it, and Su Lin doesn't have any concrete evidence to prove that the script belongs to him. So we're in a bad position right now. If we get a lawsuit, we'll lose without a doubt. Yi Wanwan was about to explain when a tender voice came from the door. Mommy. Nia Tang Xiao had woken up and was looking for her. When Yimu Fan vaguely heard that voice over the phone, he was stunned. Yi Wanwan. What's going on there? Where are you? What are you doing and who are you with? Why did I just hear someone calling you, Mommy? Yi Wanwan's ears nearly went deaf from Yimu Fan's shouting. She covered the microphone tightly and said to Nia Tang Xiao, Tang, wait a little while. Mommy is on the phone. Yi Wanwan then walked to the balcony to make sure the child couldn't hear her conversation. Please, could you calm down? Yimu Fan was enraged. How could I calm down? Yi Wanwan, tell me honestly, did you have a child with that wild man, huh? Yi Wanwan pursed her lips and was speechless. Are you going through menopause? Your imagination is running wild. Yimu Fan mumbled. I even had a nightmare last night. Yi Wanwan, what nightmare? Yimu Fan. I dreamt that you and that wild man had a child and he was already 5. I was so scared that I broke out in a cold sweat. Yi Wanwan didn't know what to say. How old was I 5 years ago? Am I really such a beast? Huh? Yimu Fan. So what exactly was that, huh? Yi Wanwan replied helplessly, yes, I do have a child with me right now, but he's my friend's nephew. He's quite pitiful. His parents left him when he was little, and he couldn't find them all these years. My friend noticed that this child was really sad, so he wanted me to pretend to be his mother for a while. Yimu Fan. Yi Wanwan. Are you insulting my IQ? Who would think of such a ridiculous idea? How could you even pretend to be someone's mom? Yi Wanwan also knew this idea sounded ridiculous, but nameless Nia made Nia Tang Xiao sound so terrifying that time, and it was a matter of life and death, so she agreed to it. Who knew that she had actually jumped into a pit herself? Tang was really obedient. Yi Wanwan. This is the truth. Why would I lie to you anyway? Even if I had a son with my boyfriend, he would be the most adorable child in the universe. I would be so eager to show him off to the world. Why would I hide it? Yimu fan, if you have something to say, let's talk about it honestly. Please don't stuff me with dog food just because we have a disagreement. Thank you very much. Chapter 926, 926. Meanwhile, at the Yi family old residence. In the courtyard, Liang Mei Xian was having her morning tea as she placed the teacup in her hand down, agitated. Yi, are you serious? Su Lin's script was actually sold to Yimu Fan? Were you mistaken? Don't worry, Mom. I already got someone to verify it. There's no mistake about it. Liang Mei Xian's eyes lit up instantly. Then we can make use of this incident to mess with that guy, right? Yi sipped her tea elegantly and replied. Su Lin stole the work of our company's gold medal screenwriter, and Age of the Immortals Media actually bought the stolen work. So obviously, they won't get away with it. From what I know, Yimu Fan already started filming and a large sum of money was invested into it. If they lose the lawsuit, they won't be able to film and all the money that was spent would be for naught. Liang Mei Xian was in a good mood after hearing that. A few days ago, your grandpa and grandma actually praised Yimu Fan in front of me. They said he's capable and is starting to make progress. HNG, that bastard. He merely started a small company. What's there to be happy about? Great. If your grandpa and grandma find out Yimu Fan stole Emperor Sky's script to film, how do you think they'll feel? Yi's eyes glistened. Grandpa and grandma would never trust him again. Liang Mei Xian sneered, HNG. That chap still gave a flowery speech and purposefully twisted the truth. He actually managed to get your grandparents to believe him, and your father had to find someone else to take the blame. You must make good use of this opportunity. Let's see how that guy is going to get out of this. Yi confidently said, I already got someone to take care of everything, and we have the evidence too. We'll win this lawsuit for sure. Mom, I already said this before. We just had to wait patiently for an opportunity, and with Yimu Fan's character, he'll just cause his own death. Liang Mei Xian said loftily, you're right. My daughter is the smartest. Those two siblings are so dumb. Add them together, and they couldn't even compare to you. We don't have to worry about them at all. Little Garden House. After Yi Wanwan words killed Yimu Fan within seconds, Yimu Fan didn't have anything to say anymore. Yi Wanwan rushed downstairs hurriedly and saw Tang Tang sitting by the dining table, eating his breakfast. The little guy was sitting on a stool and eating his breakfast mechanically. Last night, Yi Wanwan was up all night worrying she wouldn't be able to take good care of the child. After searching on the internet, she saw how many parents complained about their children's problems and how difficult it was to take care of them. She realized she had many things to pay attention to when taking care of a child and how challenging it was to raise a child. Reading all this caused insomnia for Yi Wanwan. Yi Wanwan was already prepared for the worst and all kinds of unexpected situations. However, she hadn't expected that on her first morning of taking care of the little boy, there wouldn't be any fuss at all. The little guy woke up himself, put on his own clothes, washed up and sat at the dining table by himself. He wasn't picky about his food either and ate everything that was prepared for him. This child was so well behaved that one's heart could melt. Yi Wanwan walked over with mixed feelings in her heart and said gently, Tang Tang, is the food okay for you? The little fella placed his chopsticks down and waited till he was done chewing his food before he answered. Okay. 4-3 Ioxio. Chapter 927 Yi Wanwan. If you aren't adjusting to this place, you must tell mommy, alright? Nietang Xiao. Okay. After that, Yi Wanwan didn't know what else to say or do. I'm not a very competent mother, am I? Alright, Tang Tang. I'll go get you some fruit. Yi Wanwan hurriedly walked to the kitchen. Master, what do you need? I'll take care of it for you. The fatty exclaimed attentively. Yi Wanwan. No need, just give me an apple. Sure, sure. The fatty immediately picked the nicest apple for Yi Wanwan. Yi Wanwan picked up the apple and a knife, then returned to the dining table. Tang Tang, Mommy will peel the apple for you, ah? Yuanwan then slowly peeled the apple into little bunnies based on her memory of what she once saw online. Then she arranged them nicely on a white porcelain plate. The little bunnies were all gathered together, and it looked very delightful and cute. Tang Tang, have some fruit. Nye Tang Xiao looked at the bunny-shaped fruit and had a confused look on his face. Mommy, I'm not a 2 or 3-year-old kid. Yuanwan, so a 4 or 5-year-old isn't considered a kid, huh? Oh, Tang Tang, you don't like it? Yuanwan seemed a little disappointed. Nye Tang Xiao, it's just not necessary. Oh, Yuanwan was so dejected that her head nearly drooped. Seeing how disappointed Yuanwan was, Nye Tang Xiao's expression turned solemn. Yuanwan laid on the table, dispirited. Mommy suddenly feels really useless. I can't do anything for you. The little fella's face turned even more solemn, like he was facing a difficult problem he couldn't solve. After some time, the little fella pursed his lips, then extended his tiny arm. He placed it on Yuanwan's head and rubbed it gently. Mommy did really well. Really? Yuanwan's head immediately rose like a sunflower. Nye Tang Xiao picked up a little bunny. I like it very much. It was like the sky had cleared after a storm. That's great. Eat more then. Fruit is great for your body. Seeing as Yuanwan was energetic once again, the little fella subtly heaved a sigh of relief. At a booth in a certain restaurant in Imperial City, Tanjin Xine made his tea leisurely as he spoke in a very sincere tone. Su Lin, I said this before. You would look for me sooner or later. The man on the other side of the table had heavy eye bags and looked very lethargic. I can write you another script, but please return a life and death struggle to me. Tanjin Xine chuckled. Haha, if you said this earlier, it wouldn't be an issue, but right now, I don't think this is how you should negotiate with me. Su Lin's fingers balled into fists. He gritted his teeth and said, I can do it at no cost, and I don't need you to give me credit for it either. Please just return a life and death struggle to me. I already signed a contract with another company for this show, and I can't let them suffer losses because of me. Tanjin Xine shook his head with a pitiful look. Su Lin, you're still so naive. You still don't get it, do you? A life and death struggle belongs to me, and every work of yours in future will be mine. And you have no right to negotiate with me at all. Tanjin Xine looked fearless. If Su Lin doesn't want to lose his reputation, he has to slave away for me. Chapter 928 Age of the Immortals. Everyone's faces were solemn. As a senior, Tanjin Xine's actions were really unacceptable. Luochen looked extremely angry. Guilt shrouded Su Lin's face. It's my fault. I dragged everyone into this. Yimu Fan patted his shoulder. Suji, don't blame yourself for it. If we need someone to blame, it would be that rascal's fault. How could it be yours? All right. I told you to secretly record the conversation. Did you do that? Su Lin shook his head. Tanjin Xine was very cautious. He made the reservation and even got his assistant to search my body before entering the booth. I didn't get a chance to do anything at all. Yimu Fan sighed. He hadn't placed too much hope on this idea. That sly old fox had been in the industry for so long that he would definitely be on his guard about such a low-level idea. What should we do now? Are we able to do anything to him at all? Gong Su was frustrated. Han Xianyu analyzed the situation. We have to prepare for the worst right now, which is losing the lawsuit and being fined for infringement. Then we'll have to stop all our shooting plans. All the investments we invested in will be gone, and most importantly, it'll damage the company's reputation. Su Lin hurriedly said, regarding the reputation of the company, I can make a public declaration that this had nothing to do with the company and all of you were merely buying my script. Han Xianyu looked helpless. The issue isn't that simple. Emperor Sky would definitely sway the public's opinion and implicate the company as well. If Age of the Immortals couldn't produce any evidence, they would be in a defensive position. What did Yi Ji say? Luo Chen asked. Yimu Fan waved his arms. I already called him, but I didn't really understand what he said. We'll just wait for him to come back and we can ask him again. At that moment, a pair of footsteps came from the door. It was Yi Wanwan. The few of them hurriedly greeted her. E.g., Chairman Yi, you're here. The moment they saw Yi Wanwan, the atmosphere in the conference room became much more relaxed. As long as Yi Bai was around, it was like any problem could be resolved. Upon seeing Yi Wanwan, Yi Mu Fan flung his hands up. I already told you about the issue, so what are your plans? Yi Wanwan swept her gaze across everyone present and replied, I am aware of the situation. So I decided that the filming of A Life and Death Struggle will be moved forward to tomorrow. Su Lin was surprised when he heard that. What? Start filming tomorrow? But according to the present situation, shouldn't we try to reduce our losses as much as possible? Why would we rush to start filming? We can't do that. It won't work. It'll also cause the company to be in an even more precarious position with public opinion. What surprised him even more was that no one else showed any objections to Yi Bai's decision, even though it was clearly a mistake. Yi Wanwan placated him and said, Teacher Su, when you came over to us, I promised you that no matter what happened, the company would resolve it. You just need to do one thing, film at ease. Su Lin was confused as he turned to the others. So all of you are okay with starting to film as well? He really couldn't keep dragging them into this. They looked at one another. Then Luo Chen said, I'll listen to you. Han Xian Yu hung up the call he was on and said, I already got Yang Ji to make the arrangements. Gong Su was all smiles. I'll just leave the thinking to Yi Ji. I'm only in charge of looking good. Chapter 929. 929. After Yi Wanwan made her decision, Gong Su, Luo Chun, and the others went to prepare for the press conference the next day. What do I need to do? Yi Mu Fan asked. Follow me and we'll hold a press conference tonight. After speaking, Yi Wanwan passed him a file. What's this? Yi Mu Fan took it suspiciously and took out its contents. When he realized what the documents were, Yi Mu Fan's eyes lit up. Damn! These are... Where did you get all these pieces of evidence? As if we have to be afraid when we have these. We can just countersue Emperor Sky and Tangent Xion instead for infringement. I'll prepare the venue right away and invite all the reporters. We'll hold the press conference. Hold on. Yi Wanwan stopped him. What is it? We just established our company, and with such a tight budget, don't we need money for the venue, inviting the reporters and all the publicity? Yi Wanwan raised her brows. Huh. Then what should we do? We definitely can't save this money. Yi Mu Fan was lost. Yi Wanwan laughed. What's the rush? Emperor Sky will secure an amazing venue and invite the media. They'll have a grand press conference for us. What did you say? Emperor Sky will do it for us? How's that possible? Have they lost their minds? Yi Mu Fan was baffled. Yi Mu Fan was about to continue asking when his phone rang. It was a call from Yi. Yi Mu Fan furrowed his brows. Why's Yi calling me at this hour? The corners of Yi Wanwan's lips curved upwards. Answer it. Yi Mu Fan answered the call with an indifferent expression. What's the matter? Mu Fan, today is Emperor Sky's 20th anniversary. You and Wanwan should come over and join us at the 20th anniversary celebration tonight. Yi's courteous and well-mannered voice came through the receiver. Yi Mu Fan knitted his brows. Yi's being so nice and inviting us over for Emperor Sky's anniversary celebration? It can't be a banquet set up with the aim of murdering a guest, right? Afraid Yi Mu Fan would refuse her invitation, Yi continued. I already told Grandpa and Grandma and they already agreed. So you don't have to worry about it at all. When Yi Mu Fan heard that, he was about to reject her when he suddenly recalled what Yi Wanwan said just now and was stunned for a while. Could this be the grand press conference Yi Wanwan was referring to? The one someone was willing to spend money to prepare for us? Yi Mu Fan's eyes lit up and he responded immediately, Got it. I'll be there on time. Over on the other end, Yi concealed the mocking tone in her voice and said gently, Great. I'll get someone to send you guys the invitation later. Mu Fan, I hope you don't mind, but the new guards at the gate may not recognize you in Wanwan. So it's more convenient for you to come with an invitation. Don't worry about it, I understand. Of course, I understand. I'm already very glad that Grandpa and Grandma were willing to let me attend the celebration. After Yimu Fan ended the call, he hurriedly asked, So Wanwan, you're planning to make Emperor Sky's 20th anniversary celebration into our press conference. This is big, not just grand. The preparations for Emperor Sky's 20th anniversary celebration had started 3 months ago, and all sorts of publicity had been done. In order to steal worldwide entertainment's limelight and show that Emperor Sky was more dominant, Emperor Sky rented the most expensive international convention and exhibition center in Imperial City. Various well-known media and reporters would be present. From the publicity to the venue, the cost of this celebration was exorbitant. Chapter 930. 930. On that very night at the International Convention and Exhibition Center, stars were shining at the venue. The mega stars who always had a myriad of fans surrounding them were all trying to find a chance to be around Yi at that moment. Yi Shaoan was the current chairman of the Yi Group, and Yi was his one and only beloved daughter. As the future successor of Emperor Sky Entertainment and even the entire Yi Group, she was naturally the target everyone wanted to curry favor with. Tanny Lan, who was entertaining guests at this moment, excused herself and walked over to Yi. Yi, did you tell Mu Fan? Yi smiled sweetly. Grandma, I already told him, and Mu Fan said he'll be coming. In good. Tanny Lan nodded. Lately, she noticed that Mu Fan had indeed been making progress. Not only was he becoming more outstanding in the design industry, but he also started his own company, and the artists he signed were pretty good, so she started to view him differently. Even Yi Hongwei had relented and suggested inviting the siblings, Mu Fan and Wanwan, over for the company's 20th anniversary celebration. This decision of Yi Hongwei's was no small matter. This meant he was starting to reconsider Yi Mu Fan as his successor. How could Yi and Liang Meixian not know what the two elders were thinking? The two elders' attitudes were too obvious. Just as they were talking, Yi Wanwan and Yi Mu Fan handed over their invitations and entered the venue. Grandma! Once he saw Tanny Lan, Yi Mu Fan hurriedly called out to her warmly and exclaimed, Grandma, you're simply too beautiful tonight. When I saw you from afar, I thought you were an angel who fell from heaven. Tanny Lan was bursting with joy. This child only knows how to talk nonsense. Yi Wanwan immediately raised her hand and chimed in innocently, Guji is telling the truth. I can testify to that. Tanny Lan looked at them and pretended to be annoyed. Did the two of you smear honey over your mouths, huh? Mellifluous music started playing at the venue, and the first dance segment began. Yi Mu Fan bowed like a gentleman and extended his hand. The most beautiful lady tonight, Miss Tanny Lan. May I have the pleasure of dancing with you? Tanny Lan readily agreed, and the two of them slowly made their way towards the dance floor. Thunderous applause resounded in the place, then there were whispers everywhere. Aya, isn't that the great young master of the Yi family, Yi Mu Fan? He actually came back? Didn't they say he was incapable and was chased out of the family? I heard he's been pretty good lately, and the chairman already allowed him to attend an occasion like this. But I'm afraid that, seems like this Yi family is about to have their previous regime restored. Liang Meixian gritted her teeth in anger as she listened to the gossip around her. The old master and madam are obviously biased towards this precious grandson of theirs. Yi said indifferently, Yi Mu Fan is always showing off with his clever talk. It's not like you don't know that, Mom. Liang Meixian scoffed coldly, HNG, he only has that glib tongue and is as dumb as a pig. He actually gave us the bargaining chip himself. In the past, Yi Mu Fan was just a nobody at home, but only a few people in the industry knew about it. But things are different now. Liang Meixian wanted to see whether the old master and madam would still give him another chance when he embarrassed them tonight in front of all the guests and media. Yimu fan, your last hour is coming, and you still have no idea at all. We shall see how long you can remain so pleased. With that thought, Liang Meixian was in a better mood. Remember to give out more red pockets to the media so they'll entertain our great young Master Yi tonight. Mom, I know what to do. Everything is in order. Chapter 931. 931 Soon, the first dance ended. Everyone present was from the entertainment industry, and they all knew exactly how to weigh people's words and make observations. Very soon, a beautiful woman walked towards Yimu Fan. Mr. Yi, would you like to dance? Yimu Fan took a glance at her, and his eyes lit up instantly. The artists present were all A-listers and higher in Emperor Sky, such as this woman before him. She was a newly promoted A-lister blossoming flower. She went the sexy route and was the goddess of many men. TSK, this chick isn't bad, huh? Even with my fussiness and high standards, she could score an 8. Yimu Fan replied without hesitation, of course. When Yuanwan noticed this situation, she took a sip of her drink and gave Yimu Fan side-eye. Yimu Fan felt a chill go down his spine. The words that had already reached his lips immediately turned back. Cough, of course it'd be an honor, but I'm really sorry. I've been busy these few days and I'm not in good shape. I'm afraid I might offend Miss Een. Ever since Shen Mingqi's scandal was revealed, Yuanwan was mostly worried he would revert back to his old ways as a flirtatious wastrel. So, he was given an order and wasn't allowed to indulge in drinking and sensual pleasures. Most importantly, he wasn't allowed to have relations with any female artists. The Age of Immortals didn't have any female artists, so he was quite well behaved. But if he was in Emperor Sky, wouldn't that be like having a wolf in a pack of sheep? Therefore, Yuanwan had to keep a close eye on him. I see. Maybe we'll have a chance next time. The beauty obviously knew Yimu Fan was turning her down tactfully and had no choice but to leave. At the same time, there was a hint of doubt in her eyes. There were still a number of people who went up to him like the beautiful woman to strike up a conversation, but they were all rejected by Yimu Fan as he stayed by Tanny Lan's side throughout. That night, Yimu Fan had many eyes on him, and they were surprised with what happened. Did Yimu Fan the playboy undergo a sex change? Tanny Lan was observing her grandson the whole time, and seeing as he wasn't even playful or flirting around that night, she was obviously very pleased, and she said gently, "It's normal for young people to socialize. You don't have to stay by my side all the time." Yimu Fan replied obediently, "I can socialize anytime, but I don't get to spend a lot of time with Grandma usually." Tanny Lan's heart softened when she heard that. "Oh, didn't I tell you before? You can always come home anytime when you're free, or did someone make you mad again?" Thinking back on that incident at the old residence, Tanny Lan's gaze turned colder as she looked at Liang Meixian. She said, "Mu Fan, this is also your house. Grandpa and Grandma aren't dead yet. Nobody would dare to deny you from coming home." When Liang Meixian heard that, she was fuming mad, but she could only echo along, "Mom is right. Mu Fan, you and Wanwan shouldn't only care about working. The two of you should come home more often to visit. Darn it. Indeed, it's all because we're blood-related, right? Furthermore, Yimu Fan is the son of the first wife and their only grandson. As expected, he's not so easy to get rid of. This can't be happening. I fought so hard to get the Yi family in my hands. How could I simply allow Liang Meixian's family to snatch it away?" Liang Meixian winked at Yi discreetly. Yi said softly, "Grandma, the reporters are ready. Shall we begin now?" Tanny Lan nodded. "Sure, let's begin." Soon, the anniversary celebration started, and the invited media made their way in. The superstars walked on the red carpet one after another and entered the venue. The place was dazzling. The common belief that the Yi family occupied and controlled half of the entertainment industry wasn't an exaggeration at all. Chapter 932. 932 on stage. After the enthusiastic host was done with his opening speech, he handed the stage over to the chairman, Yi Hongwei. After Yi Hongwei, the president of Yi Group and Emperor Sky Entertainment, Yi Shaoan, went up on stage. Standing next to him was the elegant director of talent recruitment, Yi. In the audience, a few elders from Emperor Sky couldn't help but exclaim, Life is truly full of ups and downs. 3 years ago, the person standing there was Yi Xiaoting, but in just the blink of an eye, all the newcomers in the company don't even have a clue who Yi Xiaoting is. They only know of Yi Shaoan and Big Missy, Yi. Exactly. The chairman doesn't allow Yi Xiaoting through the Yi family's door or company. He didn't even allow him to attend such an important occasion, and only his son, Yi Fan, was allowed. But judging by the chairman and madam's attitudes toward Yi Fan, it's quite hard to say who'll get their inheritance. You're too naive. How could that idiot compete with the father and daughter duo? The best outcome from this is simply allowing him to return home and giving him a bit of money. He wants to be involved in the company? That's just a pipe dream. That's true. It was very clear that nobody in Emperor Sky Entertainment had any regard for Yi Fan. But since they noticed the two elders changed their attitudes towards him, they exchanged conventional greetings to give the chairman some face. The entire anniversary celebration had a cheerful and warm atmosphere. When it was approaching the end, a media interview segment came up. Various well-known media outlets clustered around Yi Hongwei, Yi Shaoan, and Yi in an orderly manner as they posed questions. Aside from a couple higher-ups, there was also director Liao Xianfeng, gold medal screenwriter, Tanjin Xian, and a male and female lead. Yi stood before a dozen microphones and said to the various media, I'll take this chance to share a piece of good news with all of you. Tanjin Xian's latest work, The Age of Love, will begin filming. I hope everyone will lend us your support. When the media heard that, they all stepped forward to congratulate her. Many people will be eager to watch it. Teacher Tan is setting the bar higher and higher. His ideas are new and original, and every story is moving. I wonder where Teacher Tan got his inspiration for this show, The Age of Love, and what sort of surprise he's going to bring us. I just finished this script 3 months ago. In order to complete this work, Tanjin Xian already knew what the reporters would ask, so he started talking about his writing process and the challenges he faced. His motive was very clear. He wanted to leave a lasting first impression on the media so they believe he was the original owner of this work. As expected, the reporters were filled with admiration and showered him with compliments after they heard this. Tanjin Xian didn't forget to bootlick. He glanced at Yi and said, Everyone's too kind. It's all thanks to Miss Yi's recognition of my worth that allowed me to display my talents. Tanjin Xian was mid-speech when his phone started ringing all of a sudden. Tanjin Xian tapped his phone. Displeased, then his face changed immediately before the media. He yelled angrily, This is ridiculous. Seeing Tanjin Xian in a fury, the reporters looked at each other with confusion. Teacher Tan, what happened? Tanjin Xian looked like he lost his senses. He walked in Yi Fan's direction and held up his phone up to Yi Fan's face. Great young Master Yi, please give me a reasonable explanation. Chapter 933. 933. What's going on? What happened? All the reporters were confused. At that moment, Yi Wanwan sneezed and was sitting on a high chair nearby. She rested her chin on her hand and was swirling a glass of strawberry juice in boredom. Tonight, the Age of the Immortals press conference would start. If this was before, she would have been somewhat worried about Yi Fan and stayed by his side. But now, she just had to watch him perform silently. Yi Fan took a glance at Tanjin Xian's phone. It was a post on Age of the Immortals Weibo announcing that they would be shooting a life and death struggle. Faced with Tanjin Xian's aggressive interrogation, Yi Fan raised his brows and said indifferently, Explain? I wonder what Teacher Tan wants me to explain. Liang Meixian and Yi looked at one another and revealed mocking scowls. Does he really think everything will be fine if he pretends not to know anything? They had already dug all the traps, so he had no choice but to fall into them. Tanjin Xian looked at all the media outlets present then shouted, "Everybody, tonight is Emperor Sky's 20th anniversary and the announcement of the Age of Love." At first, I didn't want anything to ruin the atmosphere, but some people here are such big bullies and are simply too shameless. He then looked at Yi Mu Fan with frustration. "Young Master Yi, I contacted your company 2 days ago and told Su Lin that the script for Life and Death Struggle was stolen from the Age of Love. I hoped the company would provide an explanation. I thought, young master, you would definitely deal with this fairly. Who knew that not only did you not stop Su Lin, but you quickly announced the start of filming even when you knew this work was stolen by Su Lin." Tanjin Xian's words immediately caused an uproar, and all the cameras were pointed in Yi Mu Fan's direction. Damn, what did Tanjin Xian just say? Yi Mu Fan stole the script, and even when the other party came knocking on his door, he didn't deal with it and allowed filming to begin? I just read the post on the Age of the Immortals Weibo. Teacher Tan was right. They did announce they would begin shooting tomorrow. This is really quite ridiculous, huh? It's probably because his grandpa is the chairman that he's fearless, right? No wonder Chairman Yi actually chased him out of the family before. This is absurd. Does he know how to manage things at all? Wouldn't the company go bust if it landed in his hands? Watching this chaos, Yi Hongwei's face darkened. Mu Fan, what exactly is going on? Was what he said true? Yi Mu Fan was silent for a moment. It seemed like a painful topic to him. Grandpa, what Teacher Ten said was true. Upon hearing what Yi Mu Fan said, everyone looked at him with even more disdain. Liang Meixian and Yi Yi looked like they expected this to happen. There was no way he could deny this incident. Yi Mu Fan continued, "However, there's a misunderstanding on this matter. Grandpa, when we go back, I'll explain things more clearly. Is that all right? After all, it's a joyous occasion today for Emperor Sky, and I don't want this incident to ruin the mood." Yi Mu Fan wanted to settle this matter privately, but obviously, someone didn't want to let him off. Tanjin Xian said sternly, "Misunderstanding? Since you said it was a misunderstanding, why don't you make yourself clear right now?" Chapter 934, 934. Yi Mu Fan looked as if he was in a difficult situation. "Teacher Tan, let's talk about it in private, all right?" Tanjin Xian sneered. "Since you insist on avoiding the problem, I'll have to get Chairman Yi to seek justice for me." Yi Hongwei had just changed his opinion on this grandson of his, so when he witnessed this situation, his expression was complex. "Mu Fan, what's the misunderstanding? Just tell us directly." He obviously hoped it was a misunderstanding, but if it wasn't, Mu Fan's wrongdoings and avoidance of the issue would really let him down. Yi Mu Fan looked at the two elders and pleaded, "Grandpa, Grandma, please believe me this time and let me deal with this privately. After all, we shouldn't air our dirty laundry in public. It'll get really ugly if it becomes big." Before the two elders could speak, Liang Meixian sighed softly. "So even you understand that we shouldn't air our dirty laundry in public, huh? Then why do you keep doing such despicable acts? Don't you know who you'll embarrass in the end by doing that? It's the Yi family. It's your grandpa and grandma. With so many friends and media here today, if your grandma and grandpa allowed you to cover it up, our Yi family and Emperor Sky Entertainment wouldn't be able to face the public in the future. What would others think about our company if we cover up and hide our shortcomings?" Yi Shaoan echoed righteously as well. "Dad, Mom, as the general manager, I think we should at least have an answer for the public since the issue's already been made public. This is for the sake of the company's image. This isn't just a family affair. This is about the company. We should obviously make things clear. No matter who it is, nobody should receive any special treatment." Upon hearing Tanjin Xian and Yi Shaoan's words, a subtle smile appeared on Yi Mu Fan's lips. "TSK, little sis is simply amazing. These people actually acted according to her expectations and couldn't wait to jump into the pit we dug for them. I was being the nice guy to try to stop this matter from blowing up, but in the end, I couldn't stop them at all." Wanwan wanted Yi Mu Fan to intentionally stop talking to allow Grandpa and Grandma to see it for themselves. He tried so hard and cared about preserving face for the Yi family. Too bad. Some people just didn't care for it. Alas, Yimu Fan was forced and didn't have any other choice. He said helplessly, "All right, I'll need to borrow some equipment for a while. Do whatever you need." Yi Shaoan looked at him, calm and unruffled. Yimu Fan strode over to the stage. Seeing as Yimu Fan was forced to go up, Yi even asked cautiously, "Teacher Tan, are you sure Su Lin didn't have any evidence on his side?" Tanjin Xian was very confident. "Don't worry about it. Unless someone managed to write the exact same script, whatever Yimu Fan say will be useless." Upon hearing this, Yi was at ease. If that was the case, she didn't have to worry about any future consequences. On stage, after Yimu Fan went up, he started instructing the crew members to adjust the camera, sound system, and big screen. Although Yi was upset, she could only allow the crew members to cooperate with him. After everything was in place, Yimu Fan finally spoke up. "Ladies and gentlemen, all our reporter friends, good evening. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. I am one of the founders of Age of the Immortals Media, Yimu Fan. Since the creation of Age of the Immortals Media, we've had Han Xianyu, Luo Chun, and Gong Su working under us. As for our next steps, we're mainly preparing to shoot a movie titled Life and Death Struggle. The main lead of this movie is, and it's about Chapter 935. 935. The more Yi listened to this, the more uneasy she felt. What's Yimu Fan doing? Liang Mei Xian crossed her arms and sighed. This guy is such a smooth talker. He's still trying to change the subject now. Let's see how long he can drag this on for. Yi Shaoan spoke to Yi Hongwei with a grave expression. "Dad, Mu Fan is just like his father, always doing things to harm the company and the family's interests. You didn't believe me when I said he stole the company's confidential document. This time, he stole the company's script. You guys believe me this time?" Liang Mei Xian said, "Dad, Mom, this matter is very serious. You guys shouldn't be so soft-hearted again. You must deal with this very seriously. Otherwise, what would outsiders think about the Yi family?" Yi Hongwei looked at his wife next to him, and his eyes were filled with utter disappointment. Could it be that the only grandson of the Yi family was beyond redemption? With the setup of a top-notch audio system, lights, and grand media, Yimu Fan publicized various aspects of the company, then introduced the movie they were going to shoot. He also announced some news about them starting the shoot the next day. The reporters Yi bribed beforehand obviously couldn't sit still. "Mr. Yimu Fan, please get straight to the point and stop changing the subject." "Exactly. We just want to know one thing. Whether the company was involved in stealing, and whether you're continuing to take advantage of others even when you guys are aware of the infringement. How are you planning to deal with this?" One of the fatter reporters exclaimed sternly, "Mr. Yimu Fan, please don't evade responsibility. Since you're guilty, you should apologize publicly and make reparations, then stop the shoot immediately. You should also be suspended of your duties and reflect on your mistakes. Actually, I think there's no point of having such an irresponsible company. It might lead the entire industry astray and become a tumor to the entertainment industry." Yimu Fan nodded. "This reporter here, I fully agree with what you said." Yimu Fan swept his gaze across everyone, and his expression gradually changed. After some time, he finally said, "I spoke so much just now to prove one point. This company is the blood, sweat, and tears of my friends and I. We love and treasure it more than anyone else, and would never do something that violated the regulations of the industry." Teacher Tanjin Xin really wanted me to provide an explanation for this incident. So right now, I hope Teacher Tan will provide me with an explanation. Tanjin Xin laughed fearlessly. "Oh, what is young master you want me to explain? Please go ahead and ask." Yimu Fan asked casually, "Teacher Tanjin Xin, you mentioned you completed The Age of Love 3 months ago, right?" Tanjin Xin, "That's right." Yimu Fan, "Are you sure?" "Who can prove that?" Tanjin Xin sneered. "My records, emails, and the time I registered it can prove it. I also discussed the relevant storyline with Miss Yi previously. She can testify to that." In order to validate his words, Tanjin Xin even pulled Yi into it. When Yimu Fan realized the pit he dug dragged more than one person down, he was finally satisfied and continued. Good. You claim this work belongs to you, and you completed it in 3 months. Then, I'd like to know, on the big screen behind me, why is there a piece of work that has the same exact content as The Age of Love and was completed half a year ago, huh? Chapter 936 Tangent Xian scoffed when he heard that. Someone actually wrote the exact same piece of work half a year ago? How's that possible? I'm afraid Yimu Fan is dreaming. The moment Yimu Fan said that, the image on the screen changed and a few images appeared. Someone going by the ID Su Lin posted a script titled Life and Death Struggle on their blog. Everyone scanned through the synopsis, and the content was exactly the same as Tangent Xian's The Age of Love. However, nobody expected that Su Lin's Life and Death Struggle script on the blog was actually posted 6 months before Tangent Xian declared he completed The Age of Love. As they watched the big screen behind Yimu Fan, all the reporters were dumbfounded. What's going on? Wasn't Su Lin the one who stole Tangent Xian's script? Why's Su Lin's Life and Death Struggle posted way before The Age of Love was finished? If that's the case, isn't it reversed? It was Tangent Xian who stole Su Lin's work, right? That can't be. Tangent Xian is a gold medal screenwriter. Is there some sort of misunderstanding here? Tangent Xian stared at the big screen behind Yimu Fan. His brows furrowed as he looked at the photo, but he remained calm and said, Yimu Fan, you actually forged the evidence. Yimu Fan laughed and said plainly, Teacher Tangent Xian, I've never met anyone that dumb who would create such a clumsy and fake piece of evidence to show so many reporters and media reps. If people don't believe me, you may visit the site of the blog directly and see things for yourself. Then everything will be clear, right? While Yimu Fan was talking, all the reporters got their phones out and were investigating. In the end, with just one look, everyone was taken aback. They found that post on the blog and verified it carefully. It wasn't just a screenshot photoshopped by Yimu Fan. The evidence was presented right there before everyone's eyes. Tangent Xian was fearless at first, but as he saw that the people around him were acting differently, he hurriedly took out his phone to search and was completely dumbfounded. This is impossible. This is completely impossible. When Su Lin started writing this script, he watched Su Lin the whole time. How could the script have been written 6 months ago? This is preposterous. Yimu Fan swept his gaze across everyone present and said, It doesn't matter what project a company works on. The company has to make necessary preparations and conduct their research before they can launch the project. We strongly believe there was no problem with Mr. Su Lin's script, and we have concrete evidence to prove this point. We are also very willing to answer any questions anyone has about this. However, judging by Teacher Tan's reputation and character, I think there may be some sort of misunderstanding regarding this issue. Furthermore, he is also the screenwriter for Emperor Sky Entertainment, and Emperor Sky has always been very professional and reliable. That's why I wanted to clear the air with Teacher Tan before making things public to prevent any disagreements from arising. However, since Teacher Tan wanted to talk about it right here, I could only respect his wishes. Tangent Xian was standing below the stage and received more and more strange looks and whispers. At the moment, beads of cold sweat were forming on his forehead. He racked his brain but still didn't understand how things turned out this way. This strange incident was actually happening. Chapter 937. Even if he had strong telepathic skills or a good memory, it would have been impossible for Su Lin to recreate the script exactly, which meant there was only one explanation left. Su Lin lied to him, and the script was completed a long time ago. He was also one step ahead of him and published it online. He had completely fallen into Su Lin's trap. After the reporters were dumbstruck for a moment, there was an uproar. He caused such a ruckus and actually got it wrong? The Age of the Immortals didn't steal the script. It was Emperor Sky Entertainment? All the reporters immediately crowded around Tangent Xian. Reporter, Teacher Tan, is there anything you'd like to say regarding the evidence Mr. Yi provided? Tangent Xian, I remembered things incorrectly, actually. I finished writing this script a long time ago. Reporter, but didn't you say you completed it 3 months ago, and you even have Miss Yi to testify for you? Reporter, did you steal from Su Lin and lie to us? Although the media had already read pocket bribes from Yi, they had done what they could, and if there was some other explosive news, they wouldn't let it go. This unexpected plot twist was even more explosive than the original news. Furthermore, Yuanwan had obviously made preparations too. Tanjin Xian stammered and was trying to turn the situation around. Unfortunately, Yimu Fan had already prepared a trap for him and exposed everything at the scene. Some of the reporters even started to crowd around Yi Hongwei and the other higher-ups. Reporter, Chairman Yi, what do you think about this infringement incident at Emperor Sky? Reporter, Chairman Yi, is this incident an indication of Emperor Sky's negligence in management? Reporter, Chairman Yi, there have been many internal issues at Emperor Sky. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. Is there anything you'd like to say regarding this? Yi Hongwei watched the chaos at the scene, and his face was 100 times uglier than before. Something so embarrassing actually happened at such an important event like Emperor Sky Entertainment's 20th anniversary party. Yi swiftly got the security guards to separate the media from them. Sorry everyone, this is our company's internal issue. Please take your leave first. We will have a press conference once we have more details. Yi Hongwei was so furious that his entire face was already black. Shaoan, what's going on here? Yi Shaoan had been waiting eagerly to witness a good show from Yimu Fan. He hadn't expected this to happen at all and only regained his senses after the old master called on him to account for it. There must be a misunderstanding. Yi Hongwei, misunderstanding? Why don't you tell us what sort of misunderstanding there is? Yi Shaoan choked and replied, Dad, we really shouldn't deal with this at an occasion like this. Let's just disperse the reporters and control the situation first. We'll talk about it in private later. Liang Meixian hurriedly chimed in. Since Mu Fan has evidence, why didn't he make it clear earlier? He's doing this on purpose. He doesn't even care about the special occasion today and insisted on making things so ugly. Is he happy now? A pair of unhurried footsteps came from behind them as Yuanwan walked over and stood next to the two elders. She talked like she was in a difficult position. Grandpa, Grandma, Ji kept requesting to deal with it in private earlier. It was second uncle, second auntie, and Jia who didn't agree to it. There were so many reporters at the scene just now, and everyone was forcing Ji to provide an explanation. Why didn't second auntie consider what occasion it was today, huh? Chapter 938. 938 Yi Wanwan's words immediately left Yi Shaoan's family speechless. Initially, Yi Hongwei was already quite upset with their attitudes, and this incident had severely intensified the bad feelings he had towards them. There were also many problems with the Weimu Fan, and the two of them handled the situation. Liang Meixian glared at Yi Wanwan. What does a kid like you know, huh? Don't interrupt. Yi Wanwan stood next to the old master. Grandpa, I really didn't know anything, but I can tell right from wrong, and the one in the wrong isn't Ji. Yi Hongwei looked at his granddaughter next to him, and his expression turned gentler. All right, Wanwan, Grandpa knows your brother isn't in the wrong. Mu Fan, what you did today made me look at you with new eyes. After speaking, Yi Hongwei looked at Yi Shaoan with a frozen expression. Shaoan, do you know where you went wrong? Yi Shaoan's face stiffened. Yi Hongwei said sternly, firstly, you have a bad judgment of people which caused this scandal. Secondly, as the group's CEO, the person steering the entire company, you must be able to look at the overall situation, but you allowed the incident to devolve into the worst case just because of your selfishness. Thirdly, you had no intention of having a family reunion. Yi Hongwei spoke as disappointment built up on his face. I think you're not even as good as Mu Fan and Wanwan. This comment was very harsh. Darkness appeared in Yi's eyes, and she said anxiously, Grandpa, sorry, don't blame Dad. I took over this issue, and it was my fault for not investigating things further. It's not Dad's fault. Yi Hongwei spoke gravely. You were indeed in the wrong. As the person in charge, you shall be suspended from your duties for 3 months. Liang Meixian panicked when she heard him. Dad, that's too much. What does this incident have to do with E? How could you punish E? Anyway, E and Yuze will be engaged next month. If you suspend her now, what's she going to do? Yi Hongwei sneered coldly. Who was the one who said there were many reporters around today, and there must be an answer for the sake of the company's image? Who said this was business-related and not a family issue? You guys were right. Nobody should be given special treatment. We should deal with this issue as is. Yi Yi's gaze darkened slightly, and she spoke in a sweet and patient voice. Mommy, don't talk anymore. I deserve the punishment. Yimu Fan walked over with a guilty look. Sorry, Grandpa and Grandma. I caused the celebration to turn out this way, Tanny Lon sighed. Mu Fan, Grandma understands. It's not your fault. After all, they had witnessed what Yimu Fan did just now, so they obviously knew who was in the right and who was in the wrong. Chapter 939. 939, Liang Meixian was shocked. Dad, how could you do this? Yi Wanwan said casually, Grandpa has always been fair. Second aunt, are you doubting Grandpa's judgment? Huh? Or do you think you can override Grandpa's decisions in this family? Liang Meixian was too afraid to look at Yi Hongwei's rigid face. Yi Wanwan, don't talk nonsense. Since when did I say anything like that? What I meant was, Liang Meixian and Yi Shaoan wouldn't take this lying down and obviously wanted to argue. But too bad. They already made the rules clear when they tried to mess with Yimu Fan. If they changed what they said now that they were the target, it would be equivalent to slapping their own faces. It's decided then. Nobody is allowed to talk about it again. Yi Hongwei wasn't in the mood to listen to squabbling between the younger generation. His face darkened as he left the banquet hall with Tanny Lon. The guests and media left the place as well. Once everything was settled, Yi Wanwan and Yimu Fan left too. When they reached the entrance, Yi Wanwan realized Yimu Fan kept looking down and seemed to be mumbling. Go. What are you doing? Yimu Fan lifted his head and said, Don't disturb me. I'm trying to figure out something. Just how many pits did you dig for Yi Shaoan and the others this time? They gained the trust and favor of Grandpa and Grandma, got a free press conference, got top-notch film publicity, and saved a whole lot of money for marketing. They cleared their names, sought justice for Su Lin, and suspended Yi Yi from her duties. He already lost count. Wanwan had dug a pit for everyone she wanted to mess with. The siblings were chatting when a familiar male voice resounded behind them. Young Master Yi, it's been a while since we last met. Yi Wanwan's eyes narrowed when she turned around and saw who spoke. It was Gu Yuze. When Yimu Fan saw that it was Gu Yuze, he extended his arm and pushed Yi Wanwan behind him to protect her from Gu Yuze's gaze. Yimu Fan's eyes were cold. Oh, it's who I thought it was. So it's this scumbag, huh? What do you want? Gu Yuze chuckled and said, Nothing much. I was just quite surprised. You played your hand well tonight, young Master Yi. I think I underestimated you. After he spoke up to this point, Gu Yuze's tone suddenly changed and the smile in his eyes turned into contempt. Too bad this won't change anything. Yimu Fan's fingers balled up into a fist. Tisk, is that so? We'll wait and see then. Gu Yuze didn't say anything and strode away with a smile. Before he left, there was obvious aggression in his eyes as he glanced at Yi Wanwan without saying a word. From a man's point of view, Yi Wanwan was indeed very attractive after her makeover. But unfortunately, she was just a flower vase who looked pretty on the outside and didn't benefit him at all. If he wanted to play with this sort of woman, there were a bunch of them in the industry and he could have whoever he wanted. There were countless of them who appeared on his doorstep too. Yimu Fan obviously knew what Gu Yuze's gaze at Yi Wanwan meant. He was so enraged that he nearly beat Gu Yuze up. He restrained himself only because he cared about his younger sister. Yimu Fan looked at Yi Wanwan and comforted her gently. Wanwan, don't be upset over that scumbag. Gu will definitely win the Yi family over. Then you can marry whoever you want. Yi Wanwan, don't worry. I already said it before. I have no feelings toward Gu Yuze at all. Chapter 940. Yi Wanwan felt pretty helpless. She already made it clear several times. But why did everyone still think she couldn't get over Gu Yuze? If this person didn't show up every once in a while, she wouldn't even remember who he was, alright? Yimu Fan was still suspicious. He saw how Yi Wanwan was so desperate and smitten over Gu Yuze before. Yi Wanwan explained helplessly, really, I don't have such bad taste. Yimu Fan then asked, tell me what sort of guy you want to marry in the future then? Yi Wanwan replied matter-of-factly, obviously I want to marry my boyfriend. Yimu Fan glared at her angrily. Could you be more idealistic? Could you have higher expectations? Tell me the ideal kind of guy you want to marry. No matter who you want, G will help you get him. The ideal kind of guy? Huh? Yi Wanwan pretended to ponder deeply. Yimu Fan nodded. That's right. Anyone is fine. This wasn't exactly considered bluffing because if he won the Yi family back, his younger sister would be able to marry any young master she wanted with her qualifications and looks. Yi Wanwan thought for a very long time. Finally, she looked into Yimu Fan's eager eyes and answered, oh, see Han then. Yimu Fan. Yimu Fan's mouth twitched and he couldn't speak at all. Yi Wanwan raised her brows. What's with your reaction? Yimu Fan swallowed and patted his sister's shoulder. He said sincerely, sis, G thinks that being idealistic and dreaming are two different things. You need to be able to tell them apart. Head home early to shower and sleep, okay? Yi Wanwan. Before she headed back, Yi Wanwan went to the shopping mall first. At first, she merely wanted to buy a few sets of clothing for Tangdang. In the end, she bought everything from toothbrushes to cups to pajamas to toys. She also bought bed sheets and curtains for the house. As long as it was cute, she couldn't resist. Finally, she couldn't carry all the things by herself and had to resort to getting the shopping center to deliver the items to her place. Little House of Rose. The group of 5 mercenaries was standing in a row, trembling in fear. On the sofa opposite, Nye Tang Xiao sat there with a rigid expression. His little arm was holding a stack of documents, and there was a terrifying aura around him that didn't match his age at all. It's a pity that all 5 of you weren't able to hit the mark. The group stood there and didn't dare to say a word at all. The little boy was holding records of every single detail about them. Where they were from, their backgrounds, their abilities, and even every mission they had undertaken ever since they joined the mercenary group. Even the top intelligence group in the world wouldn't be able to obtain such classified information. The 5 of them were anxious. The moment they were outside the protection of their master, they would go back to being chased for the rest of their lives. We know we're not qualified enough to stay by master's side. But we will work very hard. Me too, me too. Nye Tang Xiao pushed a black booklet towards them. This is your training plan. If all of you are still unable to satisfy me in 3 months, I will find someone else to replace you. The 5 of them quickly accepted the black booklet. When they scanned it, they nearly fainted. Upon seeing the 4 big golden words on the cover, the fatty's eyes nearly popped out of his sockets. Damn, what did I just see? Chapter 941 What's Scarlet Flames Academy? Jiao Jiao stared at the golden words on the cover and mumbled with confusion. Old Zhang's face was serious and he muttered, Jiao Jiao, you're still young and might not know about this. If I remember correctly, Scarlet Flames Academy is one of the top 3 mercenary academies in the world and Tanglong came from there. Only A-rank mercenaries and higher can make it through with the monstrous training there. Song Chong gulped. You're kidding, right? 3 months. How are we going to do it? On the sofa, Nye Tang Xiao said expressionlessly, this is just the beginner level. It's not at expert level training yet. Tang Bin's face was covered with fear. Beginner level is quite scary too. Okay. With their standards, they might not even be able to pass the entrance test. Reaching this standard within 3 months was simply asking for their lives. At that moment, a pair of footsteps appeared at the door. I'm back. Please help me carry some stuff. Once they saw that Yi Wanwan had returned, it was as if they had seen an angel as they happily flew over to their master like little birds and quickly helped her carry her shopping bags. Some brought slippers to her while others even brought fruits to her. Master, you're back. Master, it's been hard on you. Master, welcome home. Yi Wanwan was confused. Why are they acting so warm today? Yuanwan didn't think much about it and asked about Nye Tang Xiao immediately. Was Tang Tang all right today? Was he afraid or uncomfortable being by himself? The five of them went silent for 3 seconds, then shook their heads at the same time. No, no. Really? Yuanwan felt uneasy and asked again. The 5 people nodded. Really? We're absolutely sure. They were the ones who were afraid and uncomfortable, okay? Yuanwan changed into her slippers and entered the living room. Tang Tang, I'm back. The little fella immediately put down the objects in his hands and walked over to Yuanwan. He stood in front of her and lifted his little head to look at her with sparkling eyes. Mommy! Yuanwan's heart was shaken instantly by the little boy's adorable gaze. She tousled his hair gently. Tang Tang, were you a good boy at home today? The little fella acted like a furry little animal. He squinted his eyes and rubbed his head against his mother's warm hands and nodded firmly. Yuanwan's heart softened when she saw how the little fella was much more intimate with her today compared to yesterday, when he wasn't used to her yet. Is it really because familial ties run in the blood? No way. How could I forget I'm not his biological mother again? At the door, the group of 5 stared at the obedient little white bunny in front of Yuanwan. Sorry, Mommy was late. Yuanwan spoke while she looked at the black booklet on the coffee table with the words, Scarlet Flames Academy. What's this? Little boy replied. Homework. Yuanwan nodded. Oh, it's homework. Tang Tang, you're so hard-working. Do you need Mommy's help? The little boy looked at the 5 people at the door and said, No need, Mommy. You must be tired after work. Guji and Jiejie will teach me. Yuanwan was very moved. All right. Tang Tang is so sweet. The suffering group of 5. Master, save us. This is homework indeed. But it's homework for the 5 of us. Too bad our master can't hear our calls for help and is taking the little white bunny upstairs. Tang Tang, come over. I bought you some really cute pajamas. Mommy will help you try them on. See if you like them. All right, Mommy. Chapter 942. Yuanwan saw many cute pajamas for children and couldn't stop buying once she started. So she ended up buying many sets at once. Yuanwan took out one set after another and placed them on the bed in the bedroom. There was one with a light blue Doraemon print, one with a light pink kitty print, and one with a teddy bear print. Each piece was cuter than the last. When Yuanwan imagined how adorable Tang Tang would look when he put them on, she nearly moved the entire shopping center back home. He was such a cute little fella, yet he was always wearing a little suit. It was very unsuitable for his age. This piece looks good. Oh, this is cute too. Which should you try on? Yuanwan was conflicted. The little fella said, I can wear a different set for Mommy every day. At first, Yuanwan was worried she went too far and the little fella wouldn't like the clothes, so she was very relieved to hear him say that. In the end, Yuanwan picked a velvet white tiger one-piece that had King imprinted on the hood. It even had a pair of ears. It was super adorable. Try this first then. Okay. Do you want Mommy to bathe you? Yuanwan asked. The little fella held up the pajamas and blushed. I can do it myself. Yuanwan smiled. All right. After Tang Tang went to shower, Yuanwan walked out and closed the door of the guest room, planning to return to her room to remove her makeup. The moment she walked out, there was a WeChat notification on her phone. Yuanwan tapped it, and when she saw who sent it, she raised her brows with surprise. Nameless Nya. Famous Yi. Emergency call, emergency call. She didn't expect Nameless Nya, who left the group and pretended to be dead, to actually take the initiative to contact her first. Yuanwan glanced at the message and tapped on her phone leisurely. At the same time, in a certain hidden corner in the yard downstairs, Devotee. Has Boss Famous replied? Has she? Spray of flowers. Why hasn't she replied? Little sweetie. Maybe she didn't see it? Nameless Nya. Let me send another message. There were 5 heads hovering over Nameless Nya's phone as Nameless Nya sent another message. Then the 5 people saw a red exclamation mark in front of the second message they sent. There was a message in gray from the system. The other party has enabled friend confirmation. You are not his her friend yet. Please send a friend request, and you may chat once the other party has accepted your request. Nameless Nya. Spray of flowers sighed. Captain. It seems like you've been blacklisted. Nameless Nya rolled his eyes. Shut up. Your father didn't ask you to speak. Seeing as their captain was furious, the devotee immediately looked for someone to blame. Captain, it's all that darn iceberg's fault. If he hadn't accepted Famous Ye's red pocket before leaving the group, Famous Ye wouldn't be so mad. The veins on Nameless Nye's forehead were protruding out. All of you, cough up all the money you have. Spray of flowers and the devotee responded in unison. Captain, I don't have any money. Nameless Nye scoffed. Stop pretending. You guys sold me out, but dare to say you don't have money? Spit it out right now. Send a red pocket to Famous Ye. Hurry up. I'll count to 3, and whoever doesn't spit out some money will have to come with me to the little woods to train. I'm not going, with the captain threatening them. The 3 people didn't have a choice, and each sent Yuan a red pocket reluctantly. The iceberg man's phone was directly snatched by Nameless Nya. Chapter 943 Upstairs, Yuan was humming a song as she returned to her bedroom when her phone started ringing once again. Yuan opened her phone. Aside from Nameless Nya, whom she had blacklisted, the other 4 people sent her red pockets one after another, and each red pocket was accompanied with a message. Devotee, red packet, boss famous. Spray of flowers, red packet, as pretty as a flower. Little sweetie Eisen Joro, red packet, pretty. Dead man, red packet, beautiful. 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 Yuan. This embarrassing slogan. She really didn't want to accept them. Yuan was speechless for a long while before she finally accepted the red pockets. Dead man, Famous Ye. You finally care about me. Famous Ye, I was wronged. The little devil ran over by himself suddenly. I had no idea at all, and I was shocked too. After that, I wanted to tell you, but the little devil didn't allow me to. He said he wanted to give you a surprise, so there was nothing I could do. I was desperate too. Yuan read the message the iceberg man sent, and she could tell with one glance that the person holding onto the iceberg man's phone was Nameless Nya. Haha, surprise? It was truly a huge surprise. Dead man, Famous Ye, what's the situation over there now? Have you met the little devil? Have you guys acknowledged each other? Did he believe you? Will he see through the lies? I'm at your place right now. Is it convenient to talk? Nameless Nya swiftly typed a block of questions. Yuan was still quite mad at first, but when she thought about Tang, her heart softened and she called Nameless Nya directly. Yuan, in. Nameless Nya, cough hello. Famous Ye. Yuan, come in and talk. Nameless Nya immediately replied. No need. I won't be going in. I just wanted to know how my little ancestor is doing and I'll be off. The fear in his tone that he might see Tang left Yuan speechless. Must he go to this extent? At the other end of the call, Nameless Nya sighed and sounded ashamed. Famous Ye, I'm really sorry. I didn't put you into this situation on purpose. I know it's really hard to take care of that little devil. He's peculiar and unlikable, and he always has that indifferent little face and sharp tongue. He even has an obsession with cleanliness at such a young age and doesn't allow anybody to touch him, and he's extremely picky about food. There's a saying that goes like this: a phoenix doesn't rest unless it's a Chinese parasol tree, won't eat unless it's a bamboo fruit, and doesn't drink unless the spring water is as sweet as wine. This little ancestor of mine is even tougher to wait on than a phoenix. He's picky about his clothes, his food, the car he travels in, the feng shui of a hotel room, and the bed he sleeps on. You have no idea that we had to bring along a pillow whenever he went out in the past. Nameless Nya brought up his tear and blood-filled past and spoke non-stop. Yuan was completely bewildered as she listened to him. Is the little boy I met the same person Nameless Nya's describing? Did I pick up the wrong child? Yuan knitted her brows. Wait, Captain Nya. Why is the person you described completely different from the person I met? Nameless Nya. Different? What do you mean? Yi Wanwan said gravely, Captain Nya. I might have picked up the wrong kid. Nameless Nya was stunned for a moment before he exclaimed, What did you say? How could that be? How could you recognize the wrong child? Yi Wanwan pinched her brows. But your description just now was completely off. Anyway, just come over quickly to confirm it's him. Chapter 944. Upon hearing what Yi Wanwan said, Nameless Nya was completely stunned. Initially, he thought that with the guards by the little devil's side, there wouldn't be any problems at all. He didn't expect that not only did the little devil chase him away, but he also chased the two guards away when he arrived at Yi Wanwan's place. That was why he mustered up all his courage and rushed over to check on the little guy. Otherwise, if the little devil didn't have anyone by his side and something happened to him, even 9 lives wouldn't be enough to withstand the Empress Dowager's rage. Now that Yi Wanwan suddenly told him she might have picked up the wrong child, it wasn't hard to imagine how Nameless Nya was feeling. Nameless Nya forced himself to remain calm. Wait, no. You said you might have gotten the wrong child. Then how does this kid behave? Yi Wanwan blinked. How does he behave? He'll eat whatever he's given and wear whatever that I pick. He'll sleep anywhere and doesn't make me worry at all. He's obedient, cute, and sensible. He's also very warm, caring, attached, and a sweet talker. He's simply a little angel. Nameless Nya was in despair. Shit, it's the wrong one. Spray of flowers. Wrong one. Brick-moving foreigner. Wrong one. Devotee. It's definitely the wrong one. Iceberg man. All 6 of them froze. Come on. Go take a look and you'll see. Yi Wanwan didn't know what else to do and hurriedly brought the 5 people into the house. It was just a couple of steps, yet the 5 of them were acting like they were crossing the bridge to the afterlife and would be in hell once they reached the other side. We actually lost the little devil. How are we going to keep our lives? Tang Tang just showered. I got him some new pajamas and he loves them. He said he'll change into them for me and he should be done by now. Yi Wanwan went on to talk about Tong Tong's current situation while she brought the 5 people through the little garden towards the living room. Nameless Nya's back was very straight. Spray of flowers was covering his eyes and only dared to leave a small gap. And the devotee was so anxious that he started praying to Jesus. Captain, looks like he's in the living room. Spray of flowers exclaimed. The 5 of them looked at one another then charged in the direction of the full-length window. Nameless Nya was so fast that Yi Wanwan only saw a shadow flash by. In the blink of an eye, before she could even react, that guy was already on the window. Spray of flowers and the devotee were also climbing the window like lizards. Could they use their skills on better things? The corners of Yi Wanwan's lip twitched, and she quickly caught up to them. Nameless Nya. Where? Spray of flowers. Captain. On the sofa. That boy on the sofa. Is he? Nameless Nya. Where, After Nameless Nya located his target, he was immediately interrupted. Spray of flowers and the devotees' voices were also scattered in the night wind in the very next second. All they saw was their little devil sitting on the sofa in the living room, wearing pure white velvet tiger one-piece pajamas which had a tiger's tail at the back, and 2 cute tiny ears on the hood with the dominating word, King, printed in the middle. Nameless Nya. Who am I? Spray of flowers. Where am I? Devotee. What am I doing? Brick-moving foreigner. There must be something wrong with the way I open my eyes. Iceberg man. Chapter 945. At this very moment, it was as if there were hundreds and thousands of stampeding little tigers going through the minds of Nameless Nya and the others. Upon seeing the unusual expressions on their faces, Yi Wanwan walked over anxiously. Hey you guys, what's with this reaction? Did I get it wrong? The group of 5 was still in a perilous state and couldn't calm down. Say something, guys. Yi Wanwan was panicking. Nameless Nya took a glimpse at the little fella in the living room and was so moed that he clutched his chest immediately. After some time, he lifted his head and spoke with much difficulty. Famous Yi, what exactly did you do to our little devil, huh? Why's he like that? Yuanwan blinked and looked very innocent. Huh, I didn't do anything. He was like that from the beginning. Nameless Nya. Yuanwan disregarded their strange reactions and was relieved she could finally confirm that she had the right kid. Yuanwan heaved a sigh of relief. So I didn't pick up the wrong kid, right? You guys are making a fuss over nothing. I was nearly scared to death. Nameless Nya. Who's the one who was nearly scared to death? Huh? Go inside and sit for a while, Yuanwan said. Nameless Nya immediately replied. No, no, no. No need for that. We just needed to make sure you didn't get the wrong kid. Yuanwan was speechless. You're already here. If you don't say hi, are you really his uncle, huh? At that moment, Spray of Flowers raised his arm carefully. Wait, is that really him? The devotee choked a little. I think we have to make sure. Right, Captain? Brick-moving foreigner. I think so too. Iceberg man. They were struggling to come to a decision when they heard a pair of footsteps. Swish, the window was pulled open. All they saw was Nietang Xiao walking over. They didn't even know when he saw them. It's shit. The sudden appearance of the little devil caused their souls to fly out of their bodies as they jumped 3 feet high. Swish. They were now all hiding behind Yuanwan. Yuanwan glanced at the people hiding behind her, and her lips twitched subconsciously. Nietang Zhao's gaze swept past the people behind Yuanwan and landed on Yuanwan. He lifted his little head as usual, leaned over and spoke in a cute and innocent voice. Mommy! When Yuanwan saw Tang had changed into the pajamas she bought, her face flushed brightly. He was too adorable. She couldn't help but squat and embrace the little fella in her arms. Oh baby, you're really too adorable. The group of 5 looked at Yuanwan, who actually dared to hug the little devil. The little fella pursed his lips and asked nervously, Mommy, do you like it? How could Yuanwan not like it? She wished she was the one who gave birth to this boy. Of course Mommy likes it. Mommy loves Tangding the most. Yuanwan tousled the little fella's hair and gave him a peck on his soft and cute cheeks. The little boy was stunned. He touched his face and there's sparkling stars in his eyes. Tang loves Mommy the most too. The group of 5, whose nerves were on the verge of going insane. Right, Tang. Your uncle and the others are here to see you. Yuanwan finally remembered the 5 people who had been forgotten. Currently, Nameless Nya and the others' expressions were in more shock than before. When Yuanwan saw Nameless Nya in a daze like a fool, she secretly kicked his leg and warned him in a low voice, Hey, say something. The devotee and little sweetie looked at one another. Indeed, the little devil is still the little devil. No doubt. Nietang Xiao, Mommy's great. When Nameless Nya heard that, he was quite surprised. It was rare that this fussy little sharp-tongued master would evaluate someone and say they were great. Actually, he could tell that the little devil was quite fond of Yuanwan. He didn't expect the person he got to pretend to be the little devil's mother would suit the little devil's liking. So this meant he resolved the crisis for now, right? But there was still one very important thing. Nameless Nya considered his words carefully and asked anxiously, Then have you met your father? Yuanwan looked at him and didn't know what to say. It's just a photo. Why don't you do it yourself? Nameless Nya, I don't dare. Yuanwan. Yuanwan didn't want to embarrass him any further, so she walked towards the coffee table and placed the beverages down. Then she took out her phone and looked at the little fella on the sofa. Tang, you look really cute in this outfit. Can Mommy take a photo of you? Nietang Xiao looked at Yuanwan's phone. Sure, Mommy. Yuanwan rubbed her chin. Hold on, let Mommy decide which pose is cuter. Oh right, this one. Yuanwan shoved her phone toward Nameless Nya and put her arms together to form a heart shape. Come on, do what Mommy is doing and face the camera. Chapter 948. The little fella learned very quickly and executed a perfect heart pose. Yes, 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 that's the way. Yuanwan hurriedly grabbed the phone from Nameless Nye and took a photo of Tong Tong's adorable look. Nameless Nye, spray of flowers, devotee, brick-moving foreigner, iceberg man. They actually lived to see the little devil acting cute in their lifetimes. After the photo was taken, Nye Tang Xiao pursed his lips and looked at Yuanwan with bright eyes. When Yuanwan, who was admiring the cute photo, noticed the little fella's gaze, she looked up. What is it, Tang Tang? The little fella shook his head and didn't say anything. Yuanwan thought about it, then tried probing. Oh, would you like a photo with mommy? The little fella's eyes lit up immediately. Yuanwan giggled. Come over. She then handed the phone to Nameless Nye and said, Guji, help us take a photo together. Nameless Nye was stunned when he heard that and froze. Yuanwan called out again. Hey, what's the matter? Yuanwan was panicking inside. Hey, could you please act more professional? Why did you freeze when it's time for you to perform? Nameless Nye returned to his senses after some time and took the phone. Yuanwan heaved a sigh of relief. She held Tang Tang and looked into the camera along with him. Then the mother and son raised one arm each and raised them over their heads, forming a heart shape. She seemed to have returned from a formal event. She hadn't even removed her makeup or changed her clothes and was wearing a long, sky blue skirt. Her makeup was light, and she had an air of gracefulness and nobility about her. How could my sister be so ladylike and elegant? Are you done? Yuanwan rushed him. Done, done. Nameless Nye cleared his thoughts along with the strange feelings he suddenly had and took the photo. After Nameless Nye made sure the little devil looked fine and had taken the death exemption medal, he left in a flash. After they left the little house of Rose, as they watched their own captain walking straight into a tree, the four others were stupefied. A second before he knocked into the tree, Nameless Nye instinctively stopped in his tracks and avoided crashing right into it. He rubbed his chin and seemed to be in deep thought. This was the very first time their captain had such a profound expression on his face, and the expressions on their faces were indescribable. Spray of Flowers couldn't help but probe. Captain, what's on your mind? Nameless Nye mumbled. Do you guys think? Spray of Flowers. Think what? Nameless Nye rubbed his chin. Do you guys think Famous Yi might be my younger sister? Spray of Flowers and the devotee looked at one another, then put their heads together and started whispering. Spray of Flowers, Godly Rod. Do you think Captain has lost his mind from missing his sister too much? Devotee, I think so. Spray of Flowers, do you know where Worryless Nye came from? That old freak. She was He Lianju's only disciple. He was a legendary chief instructor from Scarlet Flames Academy, known as the Demon King from Hell, aka Devil Coach, and he's extremely savage. Tell me, would Worryless Nye actually wear such a ladylike dress at home and take care of a child? Devotee, if Boss Famous is the captain's sister, I'll swallow 3 caddies of shit. Spray of Flowers, I would even swallow 30 caddies. Brick-moving foreigner, I'll swallow less, 10 caddies is enough. Iceberg man, Nameless Nye kicked all of them. Shut up, my sister is also very mo and cute, alright? For of them, Captain, could you please wake up? You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.